or didn't have any experience about actors, didn't know how to hang around with them. I was so used to comics.
Right.
So for me, it was like fighters and then comics.
Right.
So just crazy people. I
Yeah.
was just only around crazy people. So when I was around normal people or people that were like really sensitive, like really, really sensitive, like sensitive on purpose, like
Yeah.
where they're trying to be
That's-
offended by things.
That's sitcom people, and when they get into that,
Oh, it was exhausting.
that's hilarious.
It was exhausting. And you'd always hear about tyrants. You'd always hear about like the Brett Butlers and the people that would scream and throw coffee in the face of the writers. Like,
News radio was that bad? Like those guys were.
oh, there was none of that there.
Right, that was cool.
No, there was a party. The writers were great. It was a totally different kind of experience.
Right.
But what was my point? My point was that, what was my point?
You were saying that.
Thought I was going to get fired.
Yeah, you wasn't.
I feel like
it wasn't
I
for
had a
you.
point.
You thought they were going to find you out.
Oh, so I had to just do stand-up just to prove that I was still a comic. Because I remember at one point in time, the producer of News Radio said to me, he was like, why are you still doing stand-up? You're an actor now. I was like, oh, no.
I'll never take that away from
I was like, oh, no, I got to get out of here. I was like, I was
Yeah.
literally thinking like,
They're
oh, this
changing
is like
you.
a trap.
They're changing you. It's
This
right.
is a trap. And then I had one really bad set one night in front of one of the producers and one of the writers. I fucking ate shit. I
Really?
went up at the store like late at night at like 1 a.m. in the main room and just had a terrible set. Just bombed. And then I really got to work after that. Then I realized like, oh, I've been slacking off.
Well, that's what I felt, man.
I've been slacking
yeah.
off because I've been working 16-hour days, and I use it as an excuse to not write. And then from then on, like everything got way better, like way better. My stand-up, I dialed it in much more.
How do you write? How do you? Are you the guy sitting down?
I sit down in front of a computer and I just write. I don't write like this is exactly how I'm gonna say it. I just like spill my thoughts out because I feel like it takes me a lot longer to write the words than it does for me to think about things. So the more time that I'm actually just writing the words, it's extra time thinking about the thing.
Do you speak it into a computer? Do you talk it?
No, I just type.
Really?
Yeah, I type. And I just, whatever the subject is, there's this one subject that I'm doing right now where I've written about the subject 4 times. So I start a whole new Microsoft Word file 4 times and just completely revisit it. Just one more time.
What program are you using? Because I'm nuts
Just
with that.
Word.
So
I just use
Word?
Microsoft Word, and I go into there's focus mode. Have you seen focus mode?
yeah,
So I used
it
to
blocks
use-
everything else out. Right?
Yeah, I used to use Lightroom. I'll still use Lightroom.
I did Scrivener. I
use Scrivener. Yeah,
But I'll find one thing about it, and then I'll go, I don't like this, that. It does sets my bits up this way, or it can't do this, or it can't transfer that. And then I'll spend the whole day looking up for apps for the perfect app, and I'm not writing.
Yeah,
it's
you're
like,
distracting yourself.
Of course.
Yeah.
I do that
Yeah,
everywhere.
I try to avoid that. But Scrivener, what I do with Scrivener is I make each individual bit. Once I have it kind of boiled down, then I put it in the columns. So the way Scrivener's set up, whatever the subject is.
I love Scrivener. The only thing it didn't do, it didn't transfer to my phone or the other, like when I'm at a gig
Right.
and I want to look it up quick, you have to go to like a Dropbox or like that,
Right.
and it was annoying. I go, I can't, I need it right away.
Yeah, that's
know.
where
Okay,
notes on
here we
iPhone is
go.
the best.
The best. The problem with notes, you ready for this? I got them all.
Yeah.
You can't categorize. You can't. It either goes alphabetical. So if you have your bits, I like seeing my bits on the side where I go, okay, I'm working on this, and be able to move them anywhere you want. You can't
Right.
because it'll fall into that. That kind of screws me up.
That's true. That you can't keep it in order.
That's the only thing about it. Then I'm off that one. Then I'm looking 5 more hours. I'm looking for other apps.
Right, because if you have a folder in your notes and then you open up that folder and edit
Okay,
any
here we
one of
go.
those things, any one of those subjects,
changes.
it'll move to the top.
Yes,
because that's the newest one now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's not dumb. That should be an option.
somebody should make just for stand up for one of those things. I would love it. I would love
Yeah,
to.
but most comics don't use them. Most comics just write things down. Like, you ever see Mark Norman's stack?
No.
It's crazy. He's got a stack like a phone book, like that thick of index cards and napkins that he keeps in his pocket. And he's so crazy. Like, you try to read it, you're like, it's really like a person. You're like, because it's illegible. Yeah. And there's no order to them. It's just,
Whoa!
I mean, he might. How many? Yeah, we're talking. Wait.
The fuck is going on?
Index card.
How do you go?
Hello,
Here's what I'm
hello,
gonna do
hello,
tonight.
hello.
Card 167 to 1.
No, it's a.
How do you do it?
It's a window into the madness
Yeah.
that is the brilliance of his comedy. It's just all.
I remember Richard Lewis would throw out. I mean, like there'd be a piano up there, and he threw out like a scroll of like it was like just legal pads of paper and like crazy stuff.
Okay,
all over,
here we
set it
go.
all up, and it's like
He was a little nuts.
he was nuts with that.
Yeah, that was also
God
part
bless
of his thing, right? There's Norman's. Look at Norman's stack. Look at that. Look at that.
What?
Yeah. I can't believe you carry this around with you.
90%
Bro,
of
you're gonna
that.
get a bad back. I'm worried about his back. But you can get a bad back from that. A lot
It's
of
like sitting on a fat wallet.
exactly taxi
bad.
cab drivers. If they have too much shit in their wallet, you'll have a little bit of a lean. You'll get a bulge in your back.
I could never do it. I could never. I don't even know what I need to have it organized. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, you were always an organized guy, like even back in the day.
I have to be.
I admire that. I think that's a very important thing that some comics feel like they don't have to do, and you don't have to do it. Some of the greats don't write anything down. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like when I write, if I just physically write, there's jokes that I will get that I won't get if I don't physically write. And not a few of them, like a lot of them. Like some of my best bits ever came from sitting down and writing.
Do you find if you write the bit out, physically write it out, that you will remember it better too? Or no?
By hand. Yeah. If you write it by hand, you remember it better. That's proven. So if I do an arena, I got this from you, by the way. I got this from you
All right.
because
I'm not doing it anymore.
no.
I need to.
No,
do
this is what I got from you because I didn't have a rider because I'm lazy. So when I would go do theaters, they would just use Kevin James' rider. So when I would, because we were the same manager, so we were the same manager. I was like, "What's Shimmy eating?"
Right.
Like,
Did you see that?
Yeah, it was like all normal stuff and like whatever. Like maybe I added whiskey to it or whatever it was. But one thing you had was index cards.
Yeah.
And Sharpies. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So every time I do
Hello? 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 Hmm. Hmm. Hello? Hello. 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 Hello.